For 72 hours, the army stood locked in a stalemate. A series of probing attacks erupted along the creek at places like the Shelton House, Old Green Church, and Bethesda Church. On May 31st, Grant again sent his cavalry galloping ahead, this time toward the old Cold Harbor crossroads. Confederate cavalry, reinforced by newly arrived infantry, defended the intersection. Both Confederate forces withdrew at dusk. The Union cavalry took the crossroads. Hoping to recapture Old Cold Harbor, Confederate infantry attacked on the morning of June 1st. Firing from behind breastworks, the Union troopers repulsed the Confederates. Later in the day, 2 corps of Union infantry arrived and launched a savage attack westward toward New Cold Harbor. The attackers broke the Confederate line and captured hundreds of prisoners, but suffered several thousand casualties themselves. Darkness ended the fighting. Grant was encouraged. If the Union Army could break through, it could push on toward Richmond. The Confederate capital lay less than 10 miles away. He ordered a dawn attack for the next day, June 2nd. Dawn came with no attack. General Hancock's men arrived late, exhausted by their long overnight march. Grant rescheduled the attack for 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Lee improved the Confederate position by attacking with his left and reinforcing and extending his right toward the Chickahominy River. Again, Grant canceled his attack. It was rescheduled for dawn of June 3rd. The Union assault had been delayed for 24 hours while Grant accumulated the strongest possible force for his attack. Outnumbered nearly 2 to 1, with Richmond at his back, Lee would not attack. Instead, the Confederates prepared their defenses with deadly skill. They dug and built trenches, earthworks, and defenses designed to take full advantage of the terrain. Defenses built to allow the maximum delivery of firepower. Defenses stretching 7 miles along the Union front. The Federals planned their attack poorly. They did not reconnoiter the Confederate defenses. They would, as one Union general declared, pitch in and march straight toward the Confederate lines. Pitch in they did. Before dawn on the morning of June 3rd, 60,000 Union soldiers attacked across 3 miles of front. Soldiers in both armies fought with bravery and skill, but for Grant's men, that was not enough. Most of the attackers advanced piecemeal into sheets of deadly fire. They were stopped in their tracks. Men fell in waves. It seemed more like a volcanic blast than a battle, and was about as destructive as everyone survived. Only Hancock's Second Corps succeeded in making a brief lodgment in the Confederate lines. The attack lasted 1 hour and dissolved in blood. But the Union soldiers did not retreat. They hugged the ground, dug trenches, heaped up earth, and tried to avoid the deadly fire. General Burnside, commanding the northern end of the Union line, launched attacks near Bethesda Church later in the morning. Finally, around noon, Grant suspended the attacks. His army had lost close to 6,000 men, killed, wounded, and captured on June 3rd. Confederate casualties numbered about 1,500. General Lee sent a message to Richmond. Our loss today has been small, and our success, under the blessing of God, all that we could expect. The attacks ended, but the battle did not. For 9 more days, the armies faced each other at Cold Harbor. Grant shortened his lines. Both sides skirmished and probed. Neither army launched a major attack. On June 12th, Grant began to disengage. The next morning, the Confederates awoke to find that the Union Army had vanished. Still pursuing his strategy of moving east and south around the Confederate Army, Grant had temporarily given Lee the slip. The Union Army was hurrying south of Richmond. The attack on Petersburg was 2 days away.